So, day one of the December Christmas vacation to Zagreb. We just just caught a tram out from the centre, about a 10-minute tram ride, because Sue specifically wanted to come here to the cat cafe, which is unique because there are cats everywhere in this cafe. They're wandering around, there's a garden where they're wandering around. It's really on the outskirts of the city where we are at the moment, but the good news is it was forecast for rain and even snow today. But as you can see from the sky, yes, it's cold, but at least it's not wet and horrible. When we went to Pular, we found a beer called Griff, which Sue particularly liked. So when I was doing the research for this Zagreb trip, I found out that there's a bar called the K Bar, which is 2 tram stops away from where we're staying. And it is actually the brewery tap, if you like. It's attached to the Griff brewery. So as we're sitting here waiting, the gentleman is preparing 2 lots of American IPA for us, American Pale Ale. Tell you what that's like a bit later. So having just stumbled out of the K Bar, which is the Griff brewery, nothing really starts till tomorrow, but we're in Banja Luka, the main square in Croatia. In Zagreb, and as you can see, weather's still pretty good. So we just caught the number 11 tram down, which was absolutely rammed. I don't know where all the people came from. So this is what's going on thus far, which is not a lot really, because tomorrow at 4 o'clock is when the mayor comes down and does a usual bit of saying, "Here we are, Advent again," and then turn the lights on. So tomorrow about 4 o'clock is when it all starts. Now that sign over there that says Bajnaš in Croatian means we're together, which I suppose is a good sentiment, isn't it? Bajnaš, we're together. And then over here we've no doubt got the mulled wine and the obligatory Croatian sausages, but until we investigate we won't know. This is tomorrow, this is where the main turn on occurs. This fountain is part of the reason why Zagreb has its name. Zagreb is a derivation of the word scoop up, and it comes from that guy sticking his sword in the ground because the city was under a drought, and up popped the water. And supposedly this is where the water popped up. All history, all probably rubbish. Going to go round to Trig Europa in a few seconds time and see what's actually going on round there ready for tomorrow. But at the moment it's cold but lovely and clear, so no signs of any rain or anything at this moment in time. And where can you go on the planet that you don't hear Slade? Nowhere would be the answer to that. So here we are again in the bit that is going to be, I suppose, tomorrow. Lots of mulled wine and stuff like that. To go riding on a 1-horse sleigh. Lots of photo opportunities here. Oh, it's a kissing spot. Look at that. How interesting. There's the cathedral, which unfortunately is still being repaired after the earthquake a few years ago. Shame it's not visible, but that's the way it goes. This is the Zagreb Bank's head office, Gradska Stedonica, and here we are with lots of mulled wine and sausages and everything else. But this is lightweight by comparison to what it will be over the next couple of days. But how much fun is this? Zagreb Advent 2023. So this is the end of, or the exit rather, from that particular part of Banja Luka Square. No doubt it'll be all illuminated later on tonight, and also more so tomorrow. Up there's Capitol, of course, which is the cathedral area, but unfortunately the cathedral is now closed temporarily for repairs. And then as we turn around the corner here, we go to what is known as Trig Europa. Trig meaning square in Croatian, so it's Europe Square. And there's more of the Advent spirit here, despite the fact that it's not officially opening until tomorrow. But as you can see, the Croats have decided that Christmas comes before the town hall decides it comes rather. So a little bit more of this as we progress down Trig Europa. So this is a bit further down Trig Europa. Lots of lovely baubles for your Christmas tree. Tourist hat, basically, I would say. But no, not here. They don't have any craft beer here, but they do have lots and lots of wonderful spirits, which sort of come under the generic name of rakia. There may be different fruits and different flavours. And then the boys are here having their, I don't know what they're having, but whatever it looks, pretty evil. But seem to be having a good time. And then we basically come to the end of Trig Europa here. That was there last year, the gym bar. And what Baba Yaga is, I have no idea. Basically, this bit of town appears to be like an alcoholic's paradise. There's that one here selling, well, all sorts of rakia, and that one over there selling all sorts of rakia. And basically, this is the place you come to. And if you have one drink at each stand, I would imagine you'll be completely shite-faced by the end of the trip. Well, it's a rainy day here in Zagreb on Saturday. This is Crvenić Park, which will be all illuminated later on today. And there are 3 parks in a row here. This one, which has a bandstand and they always have music on at night. The next one down is food and drink. And then the one after that, King Tomislav Square, is ice skating. Saturday morning in a wet and very, very, very cold Zagreb. Saturday afternoon, lights should be turning on soon in Ban Jelačić Square. And Christmas decorations looking rather pleasant. This is only pretend snow, but apparently tonight we're due for the real stuff, so they say. We will have to wait and see. Turn the heating up in the apartment just in anticipation of it getting colder later. And I have to say it is very cold now, but at least the rain has stopped. Got soaked earlier. There's the man himself, Ban Jelačić, 1848. He's knocking on a bit now. That place over there named Hamika, that was the original name of this square before it was renamed to Ban Jelačić. And here we are at the famous decorations in the square with the big Advent Zagreb in the background. So slightly out of the main square, we're in what is known as Capitol now, which is right by the cathedral, which is now shut for renovations and repairs after the earthquake of a few years back. And then there's a few touristy tat shops here, and then down there again back into Ban Jelačić Square. And Sue is glove hunting at the moment in one of these tourist tat shops, and it's cold, very cold, I have to say. A little bar just off the main square in Zagreb, which allows smoking because it doesn't do any food, which is good. Smells like a pub. And they also do what is now our favourite tipple, griff. And Sue's on a baby griff.
I'm on a baby griff.
And I'm on a bloke griff.
You're on a bloke griff.
Bloke griff, yeah. Can't remember the name of the place now. There's Pivovcheria, which means beer house basically, but I can't remember the name of it.
Pivnica.
Oh, Pivnica, that's right. Pivnica Pivovcheria. One of these days I'll get my tongue round Croatian, but it might take a little bit of time. So on a quiet stroll out for Sunday morning, just had a cup of coffee, ridiculously expensive for Zagreb, and there's a little magician chappie here, keeping the children happy, and there's, as you would expect, lots of mulled wine stands And then what have we got here? Is this a Yugo? Ah, let's have a look. Is it an old Yugo? Well, I can't tell, but I reckon... Oh yeah, it is. It's a Zastava. Yugo Zastava. So made in the former Yugoslavia before it became Croatia. There's a vintage piece of equipment, isn't it? So, Sunday, Advent in Zagreb. So the second time since we've been here, we decided to wander down Trig Europa because they actually do some of the best mulled wine in Zagreb, I've got to say. And the main square is just back there, so we're only about a 3-minute walk, and then plan of campaign is to wander up here to Vlaška Ulica, turn left and visit Rybinjak Park, where there is meant to be more Advent stuff going on. We will have to see. And I've actually given in and treated myself to a bobbling hat because it is actually very cold here, so I've had to give in and buy myself a bobbling hat without the bobble. So a little walk out the centre and you come to Rybinjak Park, and those little illuminated things will light up at night, and they've also, I noticed, put LEDs in the trees as well, so it'll probably look very pretty here at night. We're actually behind the cathedral now, which is, as I've mentioned before, closed for renovation. Rybinjak translates to goldfish in Croatian because apparently many moons over the horizon ago there was a humongous goldfish pond here in this park, which ain't not here no more. Not a goldfish to be seen anywhere. We're going to have a little wander through and see what else Advent wise there is in Rybinjak Park. So this street is known as Kaptol, spelt K-A-P-T-O-L, and the hills of bleak mountains you can see in the background take you to a place called Sljeme, which is Zagreb's ski resort, and when I checked the webcam this morning it is covered in snow. So the rain that we got yesterday came down as snow. That restaurant there, Cappuccina, Sue and I actually had her pizza in there the last time we were here. Not say you really want to know that, but we did. And then if you go down here past the religious icon memorial of the Virgin Mary, it takes you back into the centre of town, and the cathedral is completely closed at the moment. As I've said, I think the third time on this video, due to the damage from the earthquake, and it's slowly but surely coming back to life, and the turrets on the left hand side are all that's left of the original walls of this area, which is known as Grad Zagreb, and the clock on the wall stopped at 7:05 on the earthquake before the last one, which was a good 100 odd plus years ago, and they never bothered repairing it and restarting it. So this is Kaptol, and that building there, the yellow building, is the head office of Zagreb City Tourist Board, which I've been into on numerous occasions. So once again in Trg Banjelačića, the main square in Zagreb. It's not quite dark yet, it's 4:10, so it does get dark a lot earlier here than it does further up in Europe, a la Spain, maybe the UK. But now, of course, we get more of a feeling of Christmas when the lights are on. And now we're going tourist hunting for shoppy bits to take home, and a little bit more from the bottom end of Banjelačić Square. Man himself. And I think that kind of says it all. Advent Zagreb. We nearly got some real snow the other night. They did up the mountain in Sljeme, but it didn't quite make it down here. Another man in polar bear suit. And this area here was last year in the upper town, but because of the works up there of the earthquake, it's been bought down here. very festive it is as well. Playing lots of silly Christmas records. So coming off of the main square, you come to Trig Europa, or Europa Square to translate into English, where there's lots more mulled wine places down there, together with the odd bit of tourist hat, such as bobble hats and gloves, which I can assure you are well needed at this time of year, because I think we're looking at, well, anywhere between -2 and -4, depending on which thermometer you actually look at and which weather forecast you look at. And Sue is now going tourist hat hunting in one of these wonderful tourist hat shops on the right hand side as we approach the cathedral and also Capitol. So having walked down from the town, well, probably only literally a couple of minutes outside the Ban Jelačić Square, is the Krivenić Park, looking incredibly festive. So let's have a wander in and see what be going on. Oh, the light bulbs are gone on that building down there. It's pretending to be a disco. Very odd. Yeah, I suppose a bit later there'll be some music on in this bandstand, because there normally is, but it's very early. It's only just gone 5 o'clock in the afternoon now. So as you can see, it's pitch black. But there's still lots of people out enjoying the Advent spirit on a exceptionally cold night. And there's plenty of mulled wine to be had here as well, which we'll probably go and partake in a few moments in time. Well, that had to be done on a cold night. Mulled wine on a freezing cold Monday night. But great atmosphere. It's still early though. I don't know what the time is now. I can't see my watch. Oh, 6 o'clock. Yeah, so it's still very early yet. No doubt it'll fill up with a lot more people a little bit later on. For those keen on geography, this is built at the very end of Ban Jelačić Square, so that's the west in that direction, and logically the east is down that way. And in between is the north and south.